Hello, judges. I'm Caden Matthews, proudly representing the Georgia FFA Association. Today, I'm excited to share with you the details of my SAE in research in plant systems. Over the past 4 years, I've spent almost 1,000 hours on my SAE, and now I am excited to share with you the details of my results. During my SAE, I tested the Coolterra biocarbon soil amendment with treatments for my experimental group of 1% or 17 grams for the experimental, 0.5% or 8.5 grams for the comparison, and no Coolterra for the control group. These treatment amounts were used in all of my experiments. One of my experiments was over crop production, and I found an average of 1.4 grams increase per specimen in my experimental group over the control group. That can be seen through these triple balance scales. This one indicates experimental, while this one indicates the control. In my other experiment, I tested plant growth, where I found an average of 89.9% increase for the experimental set, which was significantly higher than the control set of data. This is shown by the experimental versus the control. After conducting these experiments, I analyzed my results, which I kept in my record book. I then sent these results to the Cool Planet company, and they were so impressed with my results, they actually used them as a sales motive. The research that impacted their sales the most was a picture of my experimental versus control underwear. The underwear was used to have a basis for a pre-test and post-test of microbial activity, because the cotton serves as organic matter for microbes to consume. For example, a photo of underwear like these, this is the control, while this is the experimental, was sent to the sales personnel, and the company's sales actually increased 17% in their next fiscal quarter. A funny joke is actually my advisor said that if he was a single man, this is what his underwear would look like. Question 1, why did you select this area? I conducted this SAE because in the 9th grade I was approached by a consultant for the Cool Planet company, Mr. Jim Bone. Mr. Bone stated that Cool Planet developed a new soil amendment and they wanted an unbiased study to confirm its increase in microbial activity. So I decided to conduct an experiment. I first found an increase in microbial activity by showing a loss of mass of 95.45 grams in the experimental versus the control group. The control group only lost an average of 47.2 grams. I was so impressed with my Coolterra, I decided to continue my research year after year by studying the additional research I identified. This allowed me to learn more about Coolterra and find that Coolterra does indeed increase microbial activity and plant production. Question 2, how could a farmer apply your findings? In addition to my experiments verifying that Coolterra is beneficial, the Cool Planet company sponsored other studies on more than 100 crops. The company also sponsored my research with a grant of $500 and materials. Their research, they found on average production increase of 12.3%. And probably the most exciting thing the company identified for farmers was a $3 return for every $1 invested. I recently took Coolterra to a field test myself. In a 2-group experimental design, I found that treated group gained 35% more mass per plant than the untreated. This on-farm application of my research helped me verify that Coolterra does increase crop production, microbial activity, and plant production. Question 3, why is your soil amendment research important to the 21st century's plant production? Increased production for farmers is more important than ever before. Monsanto stated we must quadruple agricultural production to feed the global population by 2050. And thanks to favorable international trade deals, U.S. farmers have increased demands. These are valuable reasons that Coolterra is needed in light of my conclusions that increase plant and crop production and soil microbial activity. My favorite conclusion was actually the economic impact. I made a conservative estimate based on information from Reichenberger and the USDA. I used a sample of 25% of all the farms in the U.S., the cost of fertilizer, and then 25% of the farmland to find an estimated value of my research at $177 billion nationally. Now that's a lot of money. It is difficult to summarize almost 1,000 hours of work into a short virtual interview. Thank you for allowing me to get the better share of my details of my SAE and help you get to better know Caden Matthews.